What's up, everybody? Today I'm going to be doing a story time on how I first went viral on TikTok. So, I used to post to YouTube a lot. I don't really anymore, other than re uploading my TikToks here to YouTube Shorts to kind of spread out more. But that's about it. I haven't made any like full length videos other than high school lore. Because that's what I'm really about now, just working on TikTok, then reposting it to other places. But figured I should get back on it now that I'm back on the high school lore grind. I posted a new video, High School Lore the Urinal Hitter. A lot of people are liking it. It's about a guy that takes dumps in urinals, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. So, I think I don't really need further introduction. Most of y'all who are subscribed to me here are from TikTok. I had a small following before, but everyone's from TikTok, really. So, yeah, let's get into the story. So I'm gonna try not to give too much background here because a lot of this shit is kind of just nonsense, not really that important to the story, but I still feel a need to mention it because I'm kind of like introducing myself more, and I haven't exactly talked about what I did before TikTok. So I'm gonna go back to quarantine real quick. I didn't join TikTok for a while. Unfortunately, I was kind of a degenerate redditor, and I did that for like a year and a half. I despise TikTok. I hate it so much. I was just a walking stereotype. Like I would tell people to get rid of TikTok, switch to Reddit, shit like that. It was absolutely like disgusting. I cringe so much on it. But hey, that's in the past. I still have Reddit. I don't really go on it, and I'm a changed man. But I just did Reddit and YouTube, and that was about it. So I kept with this for a while, but then I remember like one day it kind of things kind of just changed. It was like a little bit before I had started high school, and I kind of decided like I want to stop being a loser. Really, I want to actually like reach out, make friends, stop being the kind of person that nobody wanted to talk to. And part of that I felt was just like blending in, like getting TikTok and stuff like that, starting to go on it. So started like 2021. I'm gonna say like August. I actually did start using it more, and I really liked it. Like if when you first start using TikTok, at least for like just scrolling, it's a lot of fun, I will say. And that's what I started doing. So I just scroll, but I hadn't really thought about like making content at least for a while. And I was pretty content with that. Like I kept posting to YouTube. That was the only stuff that I was actually like doing on social media to make my own content. And that was fine. I was like slowly getting subscribers. I think I'd peak at like 50 before I actually started like switching gears here. But for a while, that worked out pretty well. Now, I mentioned that I wanted to like stop being a loser here, and it was really starting to like kind of get into my head that I wasn't like everything that I wanted to be. And I felt like I had wasted a lot of my time kind of just like trying to stay away from trends and be different, which was it was starting to become pretty problematic because I was way too different from the other kids. I didn't have shit to really relate to them about. I didn't play Fortnite back in the day. I didn't like watch Marvel movies, have TikTok until 2021. And a lot of the like mainstream interests that people would end up like seeing fun in, I didn't participate, and I really wanted to like put myself out there and just get around. So once like schools opened back up, I was talking to like everybody and kind of just failing. I was doing so ass at it, and I couldn't like pick up on the social cues that I like that nobody fucked with me. Like I didn't really understand that. But I still had like some friends, and I had enough that I could actually get around and do stuff. But I didn't really feel like a lot of purpose other than YouTube, and I wasn't like hanging out with people. Like I'd pretty much I'd get home from school, I'd play like Battlefield 1 until like I'd go to bed, and I didn't really do much else. But YouTube, I like doing YouTube. Problem is I didn't have much of a platform. So I felt like maybe I should do TikTok. I should start working on that. But I didn't really know what I would post. But then one day I was scrolling on TikTok and I found a video that was made by this user called at Gabriel Goblin Boy. And the video that he made is my main inspiration here. I had some other inspirations, but for the first video I would end up making was entirely inspired by him. This is called Rarest NPCs, Locations, and Items at My High School. So I would end up hopping on this trend. Well, it wasn't really like much of a trend at this point, but I saw someone comment that they wanted it to become a trend. And since I really liked the video and I thought it was something that I could do since I had always loved filmmaking, just content creation in general, and I felt like this is like putting more work in than a lot of the other TikToks at the time. So I saw this, and it kind of gave me more incentive to work on something and hop on this sort of trend, which I didn't really think I'd get a lot of popularity for, but I want to give it a shot. And I want to give more credit here to this video. So it uses a Sincere Apologies song, because the trend here wasn't started by him, it was started by the maker of that song, who I'll show here. And he made one where he was showing rarest NPCs, locations, and items in Toronto, and that's where this guy was inspired, who then inspired me. So it started as a kind of joke here, like with my friends, and I had shown them the video, like the people at my lunch table, and I was telling them that I wanted to do something like this. So I started thinking of kind of just different ideas of stuff in my school that I thought people would see interest in, and I just worked from there. So in Gabriel's video, he's just showing like different parts of the school, like things you can find in the school, and then just like different kids that are there. So now I had a list of like different things that I thought could be interesting, and I had locations like the broadcasting station, the band staircase, and then items. I had some more stuff like that, like the cap of destruction that I had made in art class, and then I needed characters. So there's one kid in our school who like he would always be wearing a Korn t-shirt, walking around, and I kind of knew him, so I threw him in there. And then also one of the kids at my table who I would have as a consumer that would end up being in the video. Now, I was getting a lot of support with making this video. The people I was doing it with, they were really interested in like having fun doing it, but at the same time, it was still a joke. It was a joke then, it was a joke when I posted on December 31st, 2021, because the whole thing just flopped. I already had like 0 followers, and I got pretty much like no views, no likes, nothing on it. And I was a little disappointed, but it was also to be expected since it wasn't like a big trend by any means, and I kind of figured like, okay, well, TikTok's like fast paced, like the things go out of style like really quickly, trends fall off, so maybe I was just late to it, and nothing's gonna kind of come from that. So I was fine with that, and I just shrugged it off and carried on from there. But then I had a new idea, and this is where EHS lore really started. So I'm not exactly sure on like how I got the inspiration for this part of it, and I have a few ideas because it kind of like cascade from a lot of things. One of them is if you guys were kind of like active on the internet during quarantine, at least like with the meme side, and I was on Discord and Reddit a lot, so it was like absolutely like filthy. But I remember they had a China lore, and it's kind of hard to like really explain what that is. But they had a lot of like shitpost videos that were kind of like that. It just had the word lore in it. Lore was a big word on the internet, and I kind of got around that. And so it was that, and then the other thing that I'm pretty sure inspired it was they had these like backrooms lore videos on TikTok where they talk about like different backrooms levels and like random like shit from that. I'm pretty sure those are the two things that really inspired me. So I started to kind of get more ideas here, and I wanted to do more of a video on the consumer. There's another thing I forgot to mention. Like in the comments on Gabriel's video, which I keep bringing up, people are talking about like different backstory like for the characters in it. They're just like dropping like a lot of random shit that I thought made it more interesting. So those are kind of like the key factors I had here and like the inspiration. And I would end up making a script and telling them all about it at lunch, and we would end up working on the consumer video. So when I was writing this video, I want to focus more on like the whole video game-esque like concept here, and I talk about how the consumer, like he's eating stuff to become stronger, becomes a boss fight, a bunch of like other like random details like mission and stuff like that. I was kind of just trying to like emphasize the whole idea that it's like a video game parody. And that worked pretty well. Like when we were filming, I got some good shots in. I think I made it look pretty cool. But it was still a joke. It was still like pretty simple, and we were just like doing it for shits and giggles. And when I posted it, once again at first it did flop. But the catch here is that after a week, it did start to gain traction, and it gained traction like pretty quickly after. And it was pretty weird to see because I wasn't like expecting this to do so well, but it was. And this was just really weird to me because I had never really gone viral before. The only thing that had happened is like I'd post shit on Reddit that like would kind of blow up sometimes, but Reddit, there's no benefit really. You can't monetize it. You can't make money. TikTok, a whole different story. People make like millions on TikTok. There's people who like actually end up becoming famous. That's no secret here. And I was actually starting to think like that I could do this as kind of a job and really benefit off of it, keep making money. But another motivator here was that I really wanted acceptance from other people. Like I wanted to kind of be accepted more and maybe like be popular because like I had gotten fucking bullied so much. Like it was really bad. I'm not gonna vent too much, but basically like people would kind of just like pretend to be friends with me in class, and that shit like kind of fucked with me because I believed it at first, but they were fucking with me the whole time. So this was like really big for me that I was actually doing well, and it became like a bragging right for me to just talk about. Like I would just be like, yeah, like I'm like posting on TikTok, making a lot, and especially since I actually like blew up after only 2 posts. That was like really mind blowing to me, and I felt like I really had like a knack for this. Like I kind of had it figured out. So this went on for a bit, and I would end up getting about 9,000 followers and over 100,000 likes before I even made a new video, which was pretty crazy. Like looking back, like I'm still kind of like shocked by it because all this kind of just like happened. But that's the thing. I don't really have much of a big secret here. If you guys like went into this video thinking I was going to talk about how to become popular, that's not the whole thing. I'm just talking about how it happened for me. And I don't think it really works that way for a lot of people, but it did for me. And I would end up reaching out to the Corn Kid and talking about the video and how I want him to be in one. And that video would end up doing pretty well too. That's, story for another time. So to summarize, all of this went pretty well. The Corn Kid video got me a lot higher in popularity. I think by the time that had kind of like run its course, I was at about 70,000 followers. And I kept going from there before I would actually get banned in, I think it was like May 11th. I remember that day. I would get banned from TikTok. I was at 84,000 followers. I had over 1 million likes. And that really fucking hurt at the time because I really thought I had this going for me. And first time around, I didn't end up making that much money. So I would come back from it and and I would make a new account. And getting popular that way was a lot more complicated. So if you guys did like this video, I'll do a follow up on how I blew up the second account because I think that that's a better story. But I want to keep this short and kind of just get into it. And yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed. Hope y'all like the new season of content. Make sure to stay tuned on TikTok, and I'll see y'all.